Well, here we are. We've made it to part 8, and this section is about using tools. Now that we've learned all the rules and all the ways to expand ourselves, now we're going to talk about expanding that even further through tools or making decisions that you maybe want to do some mediumship or something like that. This is your story. You can take it where you want it to go, as I said in the beginning. So where you want to expand to is now up to you from this point forward, and you can certainly meditate on that and ask yourself if you're getting any psychic input as to if you want to expand and learn now and go on to learn additional tools. Tools being things like learning how to do tea leaf readings, learning how to read tarot cards possibly, being able to maybe look into a crystal ball or something like that, getting in touch maybe with mediumship and all of those things. What I will say is for you to get to know the Claras. They're called Claras. And to figure out which of the Claras you get along with best so far, maybe other Claras that you want to learn to expand. We've all heard of clairaudient. Clairaudient is the ability to hear whispering spirits, sometimes music, hear sounds, to be able to hear dialogue even. Clairaudient is your ability to hear through the sense of sound, the sense of hearing. Sometimes it's in your head, sometimes it's slightly outside of your head, sometimes it feels distant. Each one of the places that you would hear that sound from, or sometimes the murmuring in the background, or other things that are going on, are going to be clues. Again, clues that you want to keep track of in your psychic journal. I'm hearing, a whispering sound. A whispering sound, well, of course you're going to ask how that makes you feel. You're also going to ask, is the whispering in my head? Does it feel like it's outside of my head? Am I hearing it in the wall? Am I hearing it distant? Does it sound far away? How does that whispering make me feel? And also, where am I hearing it from? How does it sound? Does it sound like one person? Does it sound like several? You're going to, again, be this cool investigator as you get into tools, as you're learning the Claras. If you're hearing things, clairaudient. Claritangency is the ability to hold an object and to get a download of a feeling. Or like I was saying, when you shake somebody's hand, to really get this sensation from just touching them, that ability to feel something when I touch an antique, or when somebody wants to hand me a watch or a ring and I'm going to download some information. That is called claritangency, and it's touching items, touching walls, being able to, say, go into a house and touch the walls and get a download on that. Of course, again, you're going to go through your checklist. I'm touching this, I feel that, what am I downloading, how does it make me feel? Again, from a loving place. Use your emotions as sensory tools. Don't let emotions stop your forward momentum, nor let your emotions slow you down nor cripple you. It's really important that we understand that our emotions are there as identifying tools. Our emotions are there to teach us stuff, to teach us to make choices, or to teach us to, of course, be safe. But our emotions sometimes have gotten so carried away and taking us from the path of going with the flow, of being in harmony. We have gotten so thick into emotions that we feel we must carry with us all the time instead of using them as identifiers for change or identifiers for information, that emotions have become a burden that we carry, yet they're also our superhero power as psychics, right? It's both. It's our Achilles heel and it's our amazing, exceptional ability to be tuned in and to really be psychic and intuitive. So emotions are very important, but they are also a heavy weight to carry, and it's important to always work with those. All right, back to the Claras, because we talked about claritangency. Clarisentient is the ability to feel what the mood of the room is, to sense a feeling off of the general feeling. It's a feeling. I get a lot of this. I'm extremely clarisentient. I just everything just creates a feeling for me. It could be a space that you walk into. It could be around different people in various areas. Suddenly the mood changes or it feels different when you walk in. That's clarisentient. Claraempathy is your ability to really feel the feelings of others. When you're sitting near a depressed person, or when you're sitting near a really happy person, when you're simply feeling the vibe of someone who's maybe anxious or nervous or uncomfortable or unsure or insecure or powerful or strong or confident, all those things are claraempathy. And again, it's in the Claras. Claragustance. Gustance is the ability to taste things in when you're downloading psychic information. Claragustance. Sometimes people get a funny taste in their mouth, or when, say, a spirit of a loved one's around, they may taste grandma's biscuits, or they might taste oh, the favorite fruit that they used to eat with their mother or something of this nature. It could also sometimes be that you get a taste in your mouth as an identifier about sometimes air quality, or your psychic self might be giving you a message that has to do with signs that you're supposed to meditate on deeper, and it can come through the sense of taste. A lot of people don't know that one, and will find that they're doing, say, psychic information, seeking psychic information, and they keep having a sweet taste in their mouth, a sweet taste in their mouth. It may be that the individual that they're trying to get in touch with, say through mediumship, may have had an incredible sweet tooth, or might be trying to show that they're trying to give a clue so that you can research, so you can check up behind it, so you can identify whom that is, or help a client or a person that you're working with identify who that is. Could come through taste. Clairgustance. Then you have clairvoyance, and clairvoyance is the one that most people hope to someday find. I find clairvoyance to be sometimes quite confusing for myself. I love it. I definitely do it. Clairvoyance is being able to literally see with your eyes, be able to see things happening, to see spirit out of the corner of your eye, to see little shadow beings or things like that, to see things. Clairvoyance, the ability to literally see apparitions or to have incredible visuals. I love that. One thing I will say is it can be sometimes confusing. You have to go through a lot of questions. Is this in my head or in my heart? Is this in my mind or my heart? Am I imagining this, or am I receiving this from a psychic place? Because our eyes in our daily life are such an important factor. Actually, all of our senses are, of course. But you need to check in and ask yourself, sometimes when you actually see something, you encounter someone, you turn around and they're suddenly gone. Okay. You saw them, you physically experienced that. It's really important to understand, okay, sometimes psychic things come through that way, not to be frightened by it. What was the general feeling you had? What was the message about that individual? Things like that. Being able to see it, clairvoyance. And clairscent. Clairscent is just as it sounds. I can smell Grandpa's cigar. I smell what smells like a charred fire. Could be something like that. Smelling various food items, an old musty living room. One time I was working on a closed case. It was, or not closed, pardon me, an open case. And the woman who had been murdered, I kept smelling the smell of bad cat spray in a bathroom that was literally, the doors always closed off my bedroom, and I would open it and smell funky, weird cat spray. And I had to ask the beautiful woman, please, I want to talk to you, but please don't bring your cat in while I'm trying to work on this case. I appreciate that I'm wide open to you, but not in my bathroom, not at my house. Your cat, or bring your cat, but I don't want your cat making smells in my house. So clairscent, that can happen. What I would say also is, if you're deciding to, say, read tarot or runes or crystal ball or tea leaf readings, or even Ouija for that matter, that you do it from a place of highest good and safety, that you're doing it from a place of loving intention. You're not looking for thrills and chills. I also encourage that you study every tool and learn all about it. Yeah, there are a lot of tarot cards in a tarot deck. There's 78 of them. And you could really get very hung up trying to memorize the book definition of each card. What I more encourage is that you study the structure and the framework. There is a framework to a tarot deck. It's designed that way for a reason. The more complex the tool, the easier it is to get more and more information out of, I have found. Even though I appreciate pendulums, very simple tool, you can create your questions to be extremely complex with pendulum, and you can get an awful lot of information from there. But to study what your options are about how to learn about it, and to learn how other people use it, but again, not to get stuck in book definitions, to always go back to, how does this make me feel? How am I feeling right now while I'm working with this tool? That's so important. It's really important that, yes, study the information, study the definitions of tarot cards, But then I also want you, and we'll do a little experiment here, I also want you to go with gut feeling how the card, as soon as you see it, made you feel. Just like when we were talking about meeting someone new. Download quickly. It's about what's going on in front of you, inside of you, and not what's coming out of a book or what somebody else sees as always that card always means that to them. Because each card is going to have limitless definitions for you as long as you leave open to all things are possible, to trust that every card can morph and change given a different question on a different day seeking different information. So we're going to do a little quick experiment. I've got a couple tarot cards here, and I'm going to just hold the card up, and all I want from you, and we're on here backwards, so the words are going to show up weird and backwards, but I want you to go with your gut instinct, just your gut instinct. I want you to say one word out loud the moment you see the card. Don't start thinking about it. Don't guess what card it is. Don't try and ask yourself, oh, what does that card mean in all the other books? I want you to simply say a word out loud, just to yourself, just for an experiment while you're practicing this. You ready? Here's the first card. First thing that you felt, first immediate thing. That's all I want. I just want you to have one word, a feeling, how that card made you feel. I don't want you to get too hung up on what the definition of the card is. Here comes another one. I'm going to hold it up. It's not a lot to look at here. It's a weird card, but I want you to simply go with the first instinct, the first feeling. There is no right and wrong in this experiment. We're simply playing. And whomever is watching this is going to get a completely different feel than the next guy. Gut instinct, first feeling. It's just a card, but it evokes a feeling. It evokes a feeling. It can't help it. You're a feeling-based, emotion-based person. Use your emotions to expand you. Use your emotions to learn. Here comes another card. First feeling. How does it make you feel the moment you first see it? What's the word? What's the emotion? What's the feeling? That's it. Okay. You can study all these things. I want you to add to your pool of knowledge. I want you to study what various colors can mean to other people. I want you to study maybe animal medicine and what various animal medicines mean. I mean, add to your pool of knowledge, because that's where your psychic self is going to talk to you from. But again, leave the books behind when you're doing psychic work. Please leave them behind. Go inside, go inward, and then don't go checking the books to see if you were right or wrong. That's where you're starting automatically to doubt yourself. Again, the same little story. We go back to the beginning. You're the psychic, not the person who wrote the book. The person who wrote the book was writing that from a common feeling about most cards, a common definition, definitely something to study or learn, or animal medicine or whatever it is, but to also go with your gut feelings, definitely gut instinct. So I encourage people to use every tool you can possibly get your hands on. Try different ones. Some people do not like working with tarot at all. They're uncomfortable with it. You can read with anything you want. A lot of people are very, very comfortable doing tea leaf readings. It seems sometimes different or sometimes more safe to some people, and that's okay. I want you to use whatever works for you. Try different things. Study different things. Basically, here comes something, a real freakish twist to this whole thing, these couple of hours we have spent together, is that you can read absolutely anything. I could run right outside underneath the pine tree I have in the front here, and I can grab a handful of pine needles from underneath it, and I can come in and drop it down on this beautiful table right here and do a full reading for someone with that. I'm going to trust that my tool is going to give me the information or the messages that I may need to pass forward a message. Yeah, I'm just grabbing a handful of pine needles. I'm not using some fancy pants thing that's sold in a store or maybe that has a whole bunch of documentation about it. I can read what the dew on a leaf looks like in the morning. I can go out and I can sit near a big leaf and just look at the patterns in that, much like reading a tea leaf reading. I'm going to go with a feeling. I'm going to sit and I'm going to trust my tool. Yes, study tools, but you have to trust your tool. You have to trust that your tool is going to help you. It's going to give you the message. And if you're not feeling it, if you're not feeling like you're vibing with that tool, just because Sarah Sue and Holly whoever all just took a class and you all took it together and they're really feeling how their tarot cards work, but you're not feeling that tarot's for you, the more you try it, the more it's not working, then set it down. Open up to another tool. Maybe go back inside yourself and meditate. Maybe you're more of a working with crystal person, or maybe for you, you want to touch objects and do a little bit of psychrometry and things of that nature. Again, look up different psychic tools. Look up different ways to use them. Try different ones that work for you. And then don't feel like you have to go with the crowd. You can read a traditional deck of cards. It's a whole area of study. It's most interesting. Certainly changes now when I play, say, bridge or poker. And now if I know how to read the cards, not read them like a poker player, but to read them for psychic things, I do have to say sometimes I get a good laugh out of the cards that I get when I'm playing bridge, or when I feel like I'm getting a message from somebody in poker psychically. It's from me reading the cards while I'm playing with them. I try not to do that. I certainly don't do it to win. I'm not doing it to win. It's always information about the person sometimes, and I try and shut that off. Remember, we talked about being open and being closed. All right. Wow, I get wound up and just start talking. Hey, I have so much to say though. So you're opening up psychically. I've been loving walking through this part of your story with you just a little bit. I thank you for being here. I've really enjoyed spending this time with you. I want you to work for the highest vibration in everything you do, especially now that we're leaving each other and ending our story. I want you to use that before you pick a psychic tool, before you start playing with that psychic tool. I want you to be really tuned in, that you're doing it from a loving place. I want you to take personal responsibility for yourself even more, even if you've already been working on that. We've never mastered it completely. And know that as you develop psychically, you are also healing, finding personal balance. It will happen. We talked about that in other sections as well. And of course, compassion. In understanding that the more we open up psychically, the more we understand that we're all together in this story. We're all dancing with one another. Even if we don't necessarily like each other, we're all here dancing together. So open up compassionately. Let your love shine through. Let yourself give to others, because the more that you do that, there is a settled, beautiful place in understanding that we understand others better. We're less irritated by others as well. I would love to hear from people as they go through this. Here comes my incredible self-promotion information. Yes, I did. I wrote that backwards, people. What I will say is I do a radio show every Thursday night called Spiritual Soup with Jules and Wendy. I have a co-host named Jules Rafter, and we're on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And you can find Spiritual Soup with Jules and Wendy on Facebook. The rest of all this on this page are ways to be in touch with me and my company, and updates on what's going on. A little bit of self-promotion, yahoo. Just learning how to do this stuff. So fun. Okay, what's next? I'd love to hear what you want to hear. If you want me to talk about various different topics, if there's something you want to hear, please be in touch with me. Some of the things that I'm thinking about is a very nice, very large journaling series, a series on journaling. I mentioned in one of the shows that we did here that I love journaling. Journaling is an incredibly healthy tool to work with. And I have all these really neat creative ways to approach journaling, not just sitting down, dear diary, and just laboriously writing a bunch of stuff. There are really beautiful creative ways to journal that open us up psychically. So I am thinking of putting a series out there for all of you of that. I'm also going to do a series called Under Wendy's Willow, and I'm not sure of the content with that yet either, but I'd appreciate it if you subscribe. Hey, and be in touch. Let me know if there's something you wanted me to hear about. Thank you for joining me. Good on you for loving yourself enough to take it and go and follow this all the way from the beginning. I hope it's helped you. I hope that you've gotten something out of it. And again, thank you for joining me. Blessings to everyone. Take care of yourself and each other.